Hi, I'm Wallace Kinney, but you can call me Wallissimo. I make writing related videos here on YouTube, also sometimes travel, sometimes lifestyle. I am the author of A Dark and Secret Magic, and I am currently on deadline for my second book. A Dark and Secret Magic is more focused on the Halloween, autumnal season, and the second book is going to be more wintertime. And my deadline for said book is July 1st, but despite that feeling simultaneously very far away, it also feels incredibly close. And because we are approaching a new month, we are moving into April, I have decided I'm going to sit down with all of my items from Ink and Volt and kind of plan out my plan of attack, because I am hoping to lock in like I've never locked in before during April. And actually that's not totally true, because last year when I was doing edits for Dark and Secret Magic, I had this incredible 3.5 week period where I was so hyper focused on getting the story done and I felt so incredibly productive. And I am gonna try and replicate that, and we're gonna do some planning today because it's the last day of March right now and I wanna set myself up for an excellent month ahead. The main items that we're going to be focusing on today are this Achieve sheet. This is a pad from Ink and Volt. I will link all of these items down in the description, but just as always, not sponsored, not affiliate links, nothing of the sort. I just love Ink and Volt. I have a whole video where I go over one of these other items, which is the dashboard. And that is to create not a monthly plan, but a weekly plan. And then finally, after filling out Achieve, after filling out the dashboard, the last thing I'm gonna do today is fill out the self-care pad. Hi, this is Wallace from the future. I know past Wallace just said that this video is going to involve going over all 3 pads, but because I'm a world champion of yapping, it literally took me over half an hour to just explain and get my goals filled out for the first Achieve pad. So because of that, that's all you're gonna see in this video. Hope that's okay. Enjoy the rest of the video. All right, today's date, we're not even gonna, in the date section, we're not even gonna put today's date, we're just gonna say April of 2025. Hi, Calliope. April of 2025. And then this first line says, goal, state what you want to accomplish and the benefits of achieving this goal. Okay, so here's the thing. My technically first draft of this book is due to my publisher on July 1st. I'm actually on what I consider my second draft, but my first draft is literally not, it's what a lot of people would consider a 0 draft or a heavily detailed outline. So some people would think I'm still on the first draft, etc., but no matter what, the draft I'm currently writing is not the draft I want to turn into my publisher. I'm hoping to give them my 3rd draft. So I want to write this entire draft and then get another draft in by July 1st. That's why things feel a little, not rushed, but feel a little time crunched. So in a perfect world, I would be done with this draft by the end of this month. And then I could take a little bit of May off because I'm going to be reading Katie Ann's manuscript theoretically in the beginning of May and giving her notes and comments on that. And I could potentially exchange my this very rough version of a manuscript with her and get her thoughts and notes as well. And then take the rest of May and the rest of June to do a crash edit and get it into like semi-nice shape before giving it to my publisher. Of course, some elements of that are a little finicky is the fact that Katie Ann's book comes out on June 10th. Everybody go and order Backhanded Compliments. I'll have the pre-order link for that in the description below. And also I am moving. I'm moving in June. How crazy is that? That all just happened within the last week, all of that decision. So she's going to be really busy. There's a part of me that says, let's pick a book or let's pick a goal that's achievable. Let's try and get, let's say 50,000 words or get the manuscript to maybe like 80,000 words by the end of the month, because I already have like roughly 30K usable words. So write an additional 50, get it to 80. That'll be fairly close to the end, hopefully. But there's also a part of me that's just like, oh, I just want to have a finished draft by the end of this month. But I worry that if I go with a finished draft, then I'm going to not write as intentionally as I could. And there's a phrase I've been kind of really clinging to recently, and I might even incorporate it into the book. But the idea of that if you're going fast, you're going slow, because you're going to be so panicked Like the thing I think of is when I'm trying to detangle, oh, spoilers maybe for the book I'm writing because I have this specific scene in mind. But the idea is like if you're detangling a necklace and you're really rushing or you're not being intentional about it, it's going to take you forever because you're rushing through it, versus if you stop and take a breath and you slowly, you know, figure out where the knots are occurring and you actually follow the pattern and undo it and untangle it, you'll actually finish quicker than you would have had you been doing all those like rapid movements. And that's what I'm wondering with this story, that if I try and get a finished draft by the end of this month, I'm going to end up with a not as good product, which then means I'll be even more stressed in late May and through June to get a good product to my publisher. Versus if I focus on a word count goal this month that is pushing myself, but still allowing me to not try and be like beating through the bush, like trying to go really, really fast and furious. And like maybe not even a word count goal, but like a timed goal. That's another potential. And yeah, I love how I've only filled in the date and we're like, what, 15 minutes into the video as I'm thinking all of this through. Okay, now that I say all this, I think I'm actually going to do a timed goal. Our goal is to get, and so we're also supposed to say what we want to accomplish and the benefits of achieving this goal. So I want it to look pretty. Say what you want to accomplish and the benefits of achieving this goal. I'm going to say 125. Ugh, it's fine. We're not going to panic. Not everything has to be perfect. 125 hours of writing. Okay. And then the benefits are going to be major progress, on my work in progress. I'm going to say structure, and I'm going to say healthy pressure, because I really do feel like I thrive under healthy pressure. Healthy pressure, structure, healthy pressure, major progress on my work in progress, and like a sense of accomplishment. That would be a good benefit. Yeah, we'll say that, a sense of accomplishment. And I'm going to spell this word wrong, and you're not going to call me out on it, okay? Accomplishment, maybe? I have no idea. All right, now, because I'm me, I'm just going to go through and make these like kind of prettier, and I'll speed through this part. The next section is the action plan. Define our tasks and assign start dates and deadlines. Oh gosh. Okay. So I am curious if I should break these up and like expect a certain amount every single week. My one thing is that my sister is going to be giving birth this month, and I'm going to be traveling for that and throwing her baby shower and all sorts of stuff. I know I say that, but I'm kind of like, make it work, you know, even when, because like, even if I'm taking the night shift with the baby, you know, you can write, right? When you're watching a baby. Yeah, you can. I feel like you can write when you're watching a newborn. Your eyes don't have to be like glued to them. Like you could just like, as long as you're watching over them, I could still write while watching a baby. I love that I'm like thinking about this like out loud. This is so silly. Okay, tomorrow's April 1st, so 5 hours on Tuesday, 5 hours on Wednesday, 5 hours on Thursday, 5 hours on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So 35 hours. We're gonna adjust this to 30 hours by April 6th. Okay, so a week later is April 13th. And we'll want to do another, that is gonna, oh wait, but not Monday. So just another 30 hours, right? Yes. So 60 hours. And this is cumulative. I'm not saying I'm supposed to do 60 hours in between these two. I'm saying this is, we go like there's a 30-hour differential between these two. So saying how far I am into this goal. All right, and then 90 hours. On April 20th. All right, and then I'm just gonna say 125 hours by April 30th. So I am giving myself, I am like hoping to front load it a bit, and then maybe I can peter off at the end, maybe get it done before the end of the month even. April 30th. All right. Oh, make a tracker. Make a tracker. That's due April 1st, which now I know it's not in order, but it's fine. I don't need these to be in order. And I'm gonna do the tracker on the, I think on the back of this. And then I'm gonna, because I'm traveling all this month, I'm just gonna rip this top sheet off the pad and fold it up and keep it in my writing bag wherever I go. Make a tracker. Because as we all know, say it with me, the tracker breeds reality. The tracker breeds reality. And I'll just make on the back of this a tracker. I won't do this on page or on film, but I'll just make a tracker like with a whole bunch of squares with 125 to be exact, and color them in as I do every sprint. And then I want to fill this out all the way, but also I'm like, should I leave myself 2 things in case 2 new tasks come to mind? The one I was considering was just making a note to say that I want to do 45-15s, but I think I can actually do that down here. So I'm going to hold off on filling the rest of this out and then we're going to fill out the whole sheet, and then I'll come back and just see if there are any things that came to mind for more tasks to complete. So analysis, the best way to overcome challenges is to prepare for them. So what are some obstacles and preparation that I can do to achieve those obstacles? I think kind of the preparation element is going to be the 45-15s, and the obstacle from there is like that achieves, or that helps me deal with so many obstacles. That helps me deal with a feeling like it's overwhelming, the idea of having to do 5 hours worth of sprinting every single day. But by doing it in 45-15s, I can do anything for 45 minutes. And also inertia, just getting started, because, and like that plays into the overwhelming element. But again, because of 45-15s, I'm like, okay, we'll just make it through this first 45-minute sprint and then we'll see how it goes, you know? So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna kind of boil it all down into the word inertia. And then the preparation will be 45-15 structure. Okay. And then I think my next bit of preparation is going to be the idea of having accountability. So I'm making this video for accountability. I'll do a check-in at the end of the month. Like, no matter how it goes, I'm knowing that people at my publishing house watch my videos. I'm declaring right now that I will be updating you guys about how this all went at the end of the month. The way I just panicked saying that. We're fine. We are so fine. We're so fine. But also I think it's important for like community building and everything like that. I can do Wallace work days. I can be part of the Troublemaker Discord is doing an April adventure thing where everybody's just kind of filling in trackers and keeping each other accountable. So I'm going to call this distraction, and I'll call the preparation is accountability. Accountability, which will say update video at the end of the month, and this video. Update video, Wallace work days, and the April adventure. And I've already filled out my sheet for the April adventure, but I need to go update it because I think I have a slightly different goal than I put here. So I need to go update that. then finally, like, there's, this kind of falls into distraction, but that doesn't seem fair to me because, like, my niece that's about to be born, I don't ever want to consider her a distraction. I'm gonna call it other obligations because, and like I say obligations with endless love, like other life elements, you know. She's not like a chore to have to, you know, support my wonderful sister and, you know, welcome this little girl into the world. That's not a chore. That is such a blessing. And that's kind of the one where I don't know how to prepare for it. So I'm going to say something about life. I'm going to just say life events. There we go. Life events. Let me know if you have any sort of advice for how to prepare and like acknowledge that I want to be present for these incredible life events that are occurring around me while still holding myself accountable. And I do think that these things above here will also help me deal with the life events. But, oh, you know what? I think for life events, I might say front loading. Front loading plus time management. That I think is great because that's going to really keep me accountable. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, I just want to have a lazy lie-in, but I know that, you know, for most of the day, I'm going to be helping my sister or watching the baby or, you know, running errands or cooking meals or something like that. Then I know that I really want to hold myself accountable and get work done in the morning and when I can. And then, you know, and then also my sister technically isn't due until later in April, but it's highly likely the baby's going to come sooner. But if I really, especially this first week of April, if I really put the pedal to the metal and I give myself some little wiggle room by front loading. So I think both of those are great. Okay. Now, this next session says motivation, keep yourself going, eyes on the prize, and words of encouragement and reward. Words of encouragement. I'm going to do the words of encouragement in this pretty color. And I already know what my reward is. I am planning an adventure this summer. I'm going to go and do something kind of insane, something kind of crazy. But I have, alongside my writing goal for this month, I also have a physical goal to prove to myself that I'm physically capable of going and doing this adventure. And April is the litmus test of a month. So if I am not capable of achieving my physical goals, which are fairly simple for April, don't worry, I'm not going to like push myself to death. It's just to get myself started. If I do not commit and achieve my physical goals, then I will not be registering for this adventure. And it is not something I will be doing. And I very much want to do it. So I'm very much going to push myself to do it. And there is, because I want to take this goal just as seriously, I am highly tempted to tie this goal into that goal as well and say, if I do not achieve this, even if I do all the physical stuff, if I do not get 125 hours of writing in and feel good about where I am in the book, then I also cannot register for this adventure. So, and I'm committing to that. I'm saying that. So my reward is register. And I'm keeping things close to the chest right now, but once I actually achieve these goals, I'll tell certain people what I'm doing. Most people don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm going to announce it on the internet until after I've done it, but I will eventually say what this was about. And then words of encouragement. I mean, it's so interesting because really this is my encouragement. You know, it's like blows my mind every single time I look at it. That is so crazy. And so I almost don't think I need to put a quote. I think I can just say, look at a dozen, look at your book, sit with it. Sit with it all. That's what I'm going to say. I just think sometimes I need sit with it all. sometimes I just need a reminder that this is my life. I'm not like trying to achieve an impossible dream anymore. Like this past year has been so magical, and I've achieved this thing I've wanted, and now it's just about maintaining and being so grateful. And this, I think, will be just a good reminder whenever I'm feeling anxious, or especially if I'm feeling what's the word when you like have a negative feeling? Like I'm feeling like annoyed. Not annoyed, that's not the right word, but overburdened. That's a good word. It's not the right word, but it's actually maybe a better word. It's not the word I was looking for, but it might be the better word. When I'm feeling overburdened, I can remind myself to sit with it all and just remember how exciting everything is. Like, especially if I'm just like, I can't believe I have to write today. I'm like, girl, remember, sit with it all. This is such a blessing. And I'm not saying that in the blessings there aren't small curses, which is a line in the new book, if anybody was curious. There are definitely, but you just gotta live with them and kind of keep going. Okay, I am so happy with this. There's also a little progress bar, which is nice. I think I'll break this up into 20, maybe every time I fill out one of these tasks, I can fill out this progress bar. But I'm gonna look at the time. Oh my God, we're already at 35 minutes. Okay, 1 second, I'm gonna film a little update to the intro. Okay, I have just informed the people at the start of the video that we're not gonna go over all of these things today. We're just going over the achieve. However, if this video was of interest to you, if you would like to see me in future weeks fill out my self-care and my dashboard, which is a weekly planner, I am going to go ahead and do those right now, but I'm just not going to film them because I feel like that would be an insanely long video. So if in future weeks you want to see them, because I am planning for April to fill out one of these sheets every week and one of these sheets every week, let me know. Sorry for the construction noises in the background if you can hear them. And I will get this little camera setup going and I will get it filled out. But and as a reminder, all of these items will be linked below in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any advice with any of the questions I asked. I do think I'm gonna just leave these 2 spots free for now because I want to give myself room to realize that I have other tasks that I need to complete in terms of this. So thank you so much for watching. I'm hoping to have more videos up this month. Until then though, go be healthy, go be happy. Wait, no, go be happy, go be healthy. Sorry, health is on my mind post-COVID. And go right. Bye.